Good morning, all of you. This class will discuss about the application of potential energy. Then after that, we'll go for finding out the potential due to shell and solid sphere. Then we'll also explore the satellite motion. What is the time period, orbital speed, escape velocity, orbital velocity, then the energy of a satellite. Almost, I think this will cover your the basic things. You can work out most of the numericals after today's class. Only one thing, Kepler's law of planetary motion is left out. That also, I'll finish off tomorrow, so that uh, the major part will get over, and you can work out most of the numericals. So we'll go for the potential energy application. Yesterday we discussed about potential, some small numericals we took here. Now with the body, we'll take it. If a body is involved, what method has to be done? Okay, read the question, no? So there's a ring of mass m1 and radius r. This one, it's a fixed here. So this is the axis. Then I'll take a particle of mass m2. I'll project with a speed v0 along the axis as shown. What is the maximum distance to which the particle will move along the axis? Why did it move? Suppose say after some time the particle, if it comes here, how the gravitational field strength will be like this, no? Then how the force will act like this, and the velocity of particle will be like this. So because of force, shall I say it will undergo retardation? Because of retardation, what should happen to the speed of particle? It keeps on decreases and finally it comes to rest, instantaneous rest. You have two options. Calculate the acceleration. What is the acceleration? How to calculate? For that you should know E. What is the E due to ring gm1x by, we'll agree this. So similarly, what is the acceleration? Acceleration should be F by m2. So gm1x by m2 r square x square to the power of 3 by 2. Okay, now you see this, look at the acceleration. Is it a constant or variable? It's going to vary, no? Then what distance it will traverse and come to rest means I'll write v dv by dx. Then put that. You see now why I'm asking you to give energy high priority means you can see this problem. Initial velocity v0 x equals 0. Finally, it will come to rest. That is the maximum distance. Look at RHS. Can you really manage? Provided if you have very good idea of integration. Otherwise, not possible, no? Only those students who are having good knowledge of integration, they can manage. So these are the problems what we encounter if we take the kinematics. If you go for the kinematics, there's a problem here. So integration will be very difficult. Okay, this one. This is M2, F by M2. F is one more M2 will come. This M2, I'll take it out. Twice, I think. Yeah, no. So what is the problem now? You can see, this headache, no? So how to overcome this, some sort of mathematics of this kind? How to overcome that one? Let me explore the energy method. Let me explore the energy method. Energy method. So what is the net force acting on system? What force the ring will exert on particle? The same force what happen the particle exert on the ring. And moreover, what it is? It is a conservative force. Anyway, the ring will not undergo displacement. Only the force acting on the particle does work, and it's a conservative force. Can we apply conservation of mechanical energy? By conservation of mechanical energy. So what I'm going to write, initial kinetic energy. Uh, Initial potential energy plus initial kinetic energy, UF plus KF. What is UI? Potential at point 2 into mass M2. Initial kinetic energy, M V naught square by 2. I think you should not, small v for speed, capital V for potential, capital letters. This should be equal to, finally, it will come to instantaneous rest. Now, why I'm coming to this form? Because whenever you are writing interaction potential between the body and the particle, there's a formula which will help you. Like the particle is at center O, at center O. So what is the potential at the center of the ring? Minus G M1R. A potential at point P minus Gm1 by root of R square plus X max square into M2 plus 0. Okay, what is the only unknown thing? X max. Solving this will get the required answer. I think this approach will be much easier for us. Huh? No need to integrate. Okay, how to write that interaction potential energy? Where the particle is present at that point, you find out potential due to body, potential into mass will give the interaction potential energy. You do calculation later on. I'll just only share the ideas. Huh? Solve for X max. Okay. I'll scroll down. Similar one more. Read the question now. A particle of mass m and a ring of mass 2m are released from rest with initial separation 4r as shown. Find the speed of particle when it is at center of the ring. Both are free to mono. If it were ring were fixed, I would have said. So what is the mass of the ring? 2m. That of the particle is m. Okay, try to say that how the ring will move. Ring will move. The ring will move. The center of the ring will move along the axis. And whatever the particle also will move along the axis. Agree this. So now it will undergo. So finally, how to manage this particular question? What is the net force acting on the ring? What force will act on the particle? The same force will act on the ring also. So finally, the ring and particle will be here, and this ring will be like this. Now, where do they will meet at? Where? Center of mass of system. So how do you can see? How do I can say means, what is the net force acting on, what force the ring will exert on particle? The same force the particle will exert on the ring, or the ring will exert on particle, or particle will exert on the ring. Net force acting on system is 0. Then from center of mass concept, so this distance, the ring will cover a distance x1, this will cover x2. Then net force acting on system is 0. Then center of mass will not shift. And what is this? This is the position of center of mass. Then from that m1 x1 2mx1 should be equal to mx2. So therefore 2x1 equal to x2. What is x1 plus x2? It should be equal to 4r. So x1, what is x2? 2x1. x1 4r by 3. So what is x2? x2 will be 8r by 3. Okay, but what was our question? Our question is what like? What is the speed of particle? The particle will have a speed, say v2. What about the ring? I think the ring I'll show it here. Huh? v1. So how to calculate this speed? Again, applying conservation of mechanical energy. Initial interaction potential energy, final interaction potential plus final kinetic energy. Initial interaction potential energy. So let me call this as point P. And this particular point as C. Okay, let me use that particular symbols. Now, initially where the particle is at point P, so therefore potential at point P due to ring into mass M is the interaction potential energy. They are released from rest. Finally, where the ring will be there at C, and that C is now what happened will become center of mass of the ring also. Potential at C into, now don't write VC here. Okay, let me write VO only. Center of the ring it is now. What is O? O will become center of the ring. O and C will be at same point here now. So VO into M plus M V2 square plus 2M V1 square. Now let's write expression for potential. 2M G 2M by root of R square plus 4R whole square. Negative sign into M is equal to potential at the center of the ring minus G 2M by R. Hope everyone is able to follow what is V naught. Potential at the center of the ring. So finally, when particle reaches the center of the ring and the particle will be at center of mass. Any reason why we should think in this way? Center of mass concept, where do they meet? They'll meet at center of mass of system. So minus G 2 mm and this will be mv2 square. V1, V2, two unknowns are there. So shall we go for conservation of linear momentum? M 2m V1 minus mv2. Solving 1 and 2 will get the required answer. How much of distance the ring has moved? It has moved a distance x1. And what is that x1? 4r by 3. What is the distance moved by the particle? 8r by 3. So some center of mass ideas also can be asked for you. You have to be careful. So always try to do some problems with multiple ideas. You can see conservation of momentum, center of mass, linear momentum, potential energy, all several ideas are included. Instead of this particle, you can assume a rod here, long rod, anything, bring that and release. And the rod is paved along the axis. Try to analyze, nothing wrong. Okay, after this, like this, what happened? We can keep on work out several problems here. Okay, now let me take you to the now yesterday's class I told you, if you know the field, you can find out the potential. So let me just explore that mathematics. I'll come back to the earlier things. So we know this equal to minus dou V by dou R. So this potential, we can write it as minus E bar dot dr bar. Okay, now let me adjust M on both sides. m into dv equal to minus of, what is m into e? Force only. And what about this m dv? dv is what? Change in potential. So this particular quantity now will become f bar dot dr bar. What is m into delta v? It's a potential difference, mass into potential difference. So this will be, so we'll put limits here also. V1 to V2, work done to move from, or select A to B. There's a very important formula I'm writing. So this will become m into VB minus VA. So this negative sign, you send it on this side, m into VA minus VB. What you should do this, what is this one? This is like a work done by a force in moving a particle from A to B. What it is equal to work done in moving a particle of mass m from point A to point B in a gravitational field. Who does work? The gravitational force. Then what is equal to? Mass into potential difference between those 2 points. It's a very good generalized formula. V is not velocity. Capital letters I'm going to use for potential. Now work done by gravitational field, how do you can express? There's one basic formula here and all. So work done by gravitational field in moving a particle from point A to point B. What it should be equal to? Mass of the particle into potential difference between those 2 points. You directly get the work done. And this work done is what? Equal to change in kinetic energy. Again, work energy theorem, like this. So here, so there's a use of that potential. It gives off lot of information than field. The potential, what happened, will give a better idea. We'll learn so many things can be calculated. So we can calculate the speed of the particle, everything. If you take the field concept, from field you'll get a force, F equal to me. F equal to me. Then force acts, then acceleration. Then acceleration means if you want velocity, again what happens, you should integrate. But here what it does, it will minimize the mathematics here. That's why the potential concept is introduced here. Able to get this work done in moving a particle from A to B in a gravitational field by a gravitational force is equal to mass into potential difference between those 2 points. So what is the meaning of this? Work done by gravitational field in moving a particle of mass m from A to B. There's the meaning of W1. And what is that? M into potential difference, VA minus VB, is equal to product of mass and potential difference between those 2 points. Later, as you go to the problems, no, this approach will help you a lot. Agree this. So now what is the conclusion? If you know potential, you can get the field. If you know field, you can get the potential. That's a one firm idea, you remember it. Okay, let's come for. We'll get the potential due to solid sphere. And just statistical idea. Later on, I'll cover it numerical because numericals are totally just independent idea. It is. No, field due to V due to solid sphere. Potential due to solid sphere. Okay, for first thing, I want the field strength outside the this one. If you can remember, we took help of Gauss law. No, it was a little bit much easier. In books, they didn't show Gauss law, but I think Gauss law will really help us a lot in numericals also. So let this be the point P. Let me take P1. I want the potential at this particular point. So there is a solid sphere of mass m and radius r. Let O be this one. What is this? Gaussian surface. Where do all mass will appear? You stand at this particular point. Will appear like a point mass placed in the center. And we know what is the potential due to point mass. What is the potential due to point mass? So what is the first thing? R for R greater than capital R. No, potential at point P1. Shall I write directly? Gm by small r. Negative sign. Why negative sign? I think that's what the definition of, from definition it has came. So potential at point P1 is equal to Gm by small r. Or else you go to the SEONMA. What he did, he assumed here a disk. He assumed a disk. Okay, got this one. So first you'll assume a disk. Then first you'll find out the mass of the disk dm. Then potential due to disk. Already you know, yesterday we have done. Due to elemental disk, I'll calculate. Then I'll integrate, I'll get the total solid sphere. If you're interested, go through once. Because just only information based, no? Just go through once if you're interested. So I'm just taking the Gauss law. Potential at point P1. What I should do? Draw a Gaussian surface. Since the mass is distributed symmetrically with the center of Gaussian, the whole mass appears to be at the point mass placed at the center of Gaussian surface. And like a point mass, what is the potential? Gm by r. On the surface, how much? Where is the point? It will come here. What is the potential at on the surface? So it smaller will become capital R. Very easily we are able to get this one. Or else, no sir, like I'm not good in logical thinking. Okay, go to the integration method. This will be much easier. I suggest you like and all, because nobody will ask you if I derive an expression for potential advance means. Definitely what is needed. How that formula came, rough idea you must be there, and you should know the formula so that we can use in the application. Similarly, shall we go for potential inside the solid sphere? This is about the outside as well as inside. Now let's go for inside. Inside means where somewhere at point P3. I want the potential inside that one. Okay, let me start from here only. Now, what about point? Point is less than R. Potential inside the solid sphere. You have plenty of good questions based on this. Potential inside the solid sphere. Good application problem. I'll discuss some 2-3 also today. Okay, now you see this. This will be so I want potential somewhere inside here. And the potential of this is where all we know potential on the surface. Now the point P3 has come here. Now for that I'll what about the field here? Field will be like this, no? Call E3. And what is the total mass of the sphere? Capital M. How to get that one? Sir, what is their potential? Only due to the mass enclosed? No, potential is not a scalar. It's not a vector quantity. The potential at this point, who will contribute? All these elements. But the field at this point will be only due to mass enclosed by the Gaussian surface of a sphere of radius r. Will I agree? So first, do we know E3? Yes, we know E3. What is it? So this is equal to Gm small r by r cube. What is m? Total mass of that one. So what to do this for? I'll take help of this formula. dV is equal to this one. If you know field, can you get the potential? Yes, by integrating. If you know potential, how to get field? By differentiating. There's a pure mathematical one. Just for application purpose, it's very much useful for us. So now shall I use this particular formula? I know field. Yes, now I'll calculate the potential difference. Okay, let's take help of that idea now. So dV is equal to I'll start from the beginning. dV by dr or dV is equal to minus of integral E bar dot dr. So this is what I'll write E3. How do we measure dr? Dr we measure radially outward. Is it okay? Because how you measure this radius r? From the center, no? In this direction. So what is the angle between E3 and dr bar? 180 degrees. 180 degrees. So let me substitute the things now. This will be ER, dr, cos 180. Why negative sign? Why cos 180? dr we should measure opposite. So I think somewhere I'll show it here. This is E3. I'll put it separate. So what is the angle between E3 and dr bar? Dr bar I should measure from the center O, radially outward. So that will be cos 180. This will become only integral of E3 dr. So what is the value of E3? Okay, let me substitute that also. Gm r by r cube dr. What I should do limits. Okay, we'll do one thing. We'll try for limits. We'll try for limits. At r equal to 0, what is the potential? We don't know. At any distance r, what is the potential? We don't know. That is what we know. V naught we don't know, V in we don't know. So no question of anything that one. Is it okay? So I think there is no problem with the limit. What is the problem? In LHS, V in and V naught, both are unknown. Both are unknown. So therefore what happened now, I should search for what suitable limits is what I'm going to apply. Okay, now I'll start. Earlier I told now. No, so let me take it now. So at a distance R, do we know potential? As potential on the surface. At any distance smaller, we don't know. That I'll call V in. And what is the potential on the surface? Or VP2? Just now, potential at point P2 minus Gm by R. P2 or on surface, both are same, no? So let me write Vs. Let me write Vs here. V in, this will be. Okay, now let's integrate. Capital R by small r. Potential on the surface, how much? Minus Gm by R. Let me go for one more step here. This will be Gm by R cube to R cube, R square minus R square. Or this is equal to Gm R square by 2R cube, Gm by 2R minus Gm by 2R. Is it agree? One. Let's substitute this one. V in minus of minus Gm by R. this will become equal to gm r square by 2r cube minus 3 gm by 2r. It will come like this. So what is the final equation? V in is equal to gm by 2r cube, let it be outside. Gm by 2r cube, let it be outside. So r square minus 3r square. It's left to you. You can remember this in any form. Or GMR, you can take it outside. GMR, if you take it outside. GMR, if you take it outside, then this will become r square by 2. Okay, I think that'll be r square. I'll adjust it. 2r square. Potential on the surface. Potential on the surface. I wrote no potential on the surface. Potential at point P2.
Sir, in the final equation, there is no
Okay,
need
that
of
one.
r square, sir.
R square will not be there. Yeah. This is okay. There's a form, or else gm by 2r cube, you can take it outside. R square minus it's left to you. Either of the form you can remember. This is something very important data. You're supposed to remember formula. So many numericals will revolve around this formula. We don't know potential at center. Am I right? That's why I took help of surface. That's the only idea here. Can we calculate potential at the center? VO. Then how much it will become? Minus 3 by 2 times of GR. Or this is equal to minus 1 point or 1.5 times that on the surface. So what is the potential at center? What is V naught? Potential at center of sphere. How much it is? 1.5 times of that on the surface. Smaller equal to 0 is substitute. Then you get minus 3 by 2. And what is potential on the surface? This one. So what is Vs? I'll write it. Potential. So what you have, potential is, field is 0 at center, but potential will be non-zero. You get all 4 cases. There's no rule that potential and field should be 0. At infinity, due to point mass, both will be 0. So you get different cases where at a point potential 0, field non-zero, or field 0, potential non-zero, potential 0, field non-zero, both will be non-zero or both will be 0. Any of the situation can arise based on the type of the distribution of mass. For a sphere open at center, field is 0, potential is non-zero. I think this formula very, very important. I think this N formula, which is no, this is the thing. Then nobody will ask you derive, no? At least please do understand. Nobody will ask you derive. This formula plays very important role. Okay, now finally what happened? We know potential due to sphere, no? Can we plot a graph? Can we plot a graph? There's a formula, I just simplified it, no? It's a formula, I'm just rewriting it, different forms. Either you can remember this or this particular thing. Okay, now we'll go for, what about the graph? Potential is zero, non-zero. At center, it is how much? Minus 1.5 times. So if I take the curve will come like this. And if you look at this point, this is R. What is the potential at this particular point? Minus, what about here? Minus 1.5 times of Gm by R. On the surface, minus Gm by R. Outside what means it start decreasing. So there's a potential. What we have plotted is a potential. It's a negative, no? So therefore it will come. Graph will come like this. If you're plotting only magnitude, you have to invert this graph. Symmetry, no? As symmetrical body on either side, we can show it. Okay, this is data. So it's a very useful one. You can see the numericals today also. I'll discuss few. Now after this, we'll go for shell because one more spherical shell. We know already field, no? Okay, let's take about the shell now. So what is the shell? Shell will be field due to, so potential due to shell. Now first, let me pick up a point which is for your convenient, I'm writing where the mass is present. Only the green color is a spherical mass, spherically distributed. So this will be at a distance. So first, what happened? The point R greater than capital R, VP1 or V out. Find out the field strength at point P1. Again, the idea is same. If you draw a Gaussian surface, the whole mass will appear to be where concentrated at a point mass. It appears to be point mass placed at the center of Gaussian surface. So what is this one? This should be equal to minus Gm by R. Potential on the surface. Look at clearly. Same thing like previously what we did Gaussian surface, we have to do it. Okay, let's come for the point inside now. Let me come to the last point inside. So where is the point P3? Point P3 lies inside the spherical surface. What is the field strength inside? What is the field strength inside? First we'll look at the field inside the shell. Should be zero. I think we have discussed this also. The field inside the shell will be zero. Any reason for that? What is the net mass enclosed by the Gaussian surface? Will be zero, no? But sir, like can't this contribute? Already we have said like the net mass enclosed by the Gaussian surface is zero. So therefore, no field at point P3. Net field at point P3 will be zero. I'm saying net field at point P3 will be zero. Simplest way using Gauss law. No mass is enclosed. Or else, so what is the thing? So at this particular point, what these elements, so you can take like this. So how much this cap will contribute, equal and opposite that this cap will contribute. So like that, the net field at point P3 will become 0. The field is 0, then what will happen to potential? So you take help of this basic formula. E equal to dV by dr. If E is 0, for E to be 0, what should be the value of V? Should be constant, no? Differentiation of constant only will become 0. Go back to mathematics. So what you can say about now V? V must be constant. If V is a constant, then only E can be 0. So what happened to the potential inside the shell? It will be constant at all points. But how much, sir? Okay, constant, we know how much. Then you do one thing. What we know potential on the shell, on the surface. So what is the potential on the surface? That will be the potential everywhere inside this one. So we use formula like this. EP3 equal to minus delta V by delta R. This is equal to 0. Delta V, potential on the surface minus potential at point P3. This should be equal to 0. In anything, what all you can write? This will be R minus small r. Anything multiplied with 0 will be 0. So finally what we are getting? Potential at point is equal to this one. What is the potential on the surface? It's a simple idea. What is the potential on the surface? That will be the potential at all points. This one. At all points inside the shell. See, it's quite, I think, rather than troubling with this side, no? So better come for this one. For E0 means what? V should be constant. So delta V should be 0. Delta V to be 0 means potential difference should be 0 between any 2 points. I'll take between these 2 points. Potential difference is 0. So we know potential here how much? Minus Gm by R. So therefore the potential at this point also should be minus Gm by R. So what is the potential? So don't take potential at O. We don't know this. We know only on the surface. So therefore I'm taking here. So what is the potential inside the shell? Will be constant. Don't say 0, will be constant. How much? Equal to that on the surface. I think this is something very important. This also you can call V in, VP3, no? So just make it a very generalized one. So shall we conclude here? Potential and is equal to that on surface. This is all the information. So rather than saying concept, according to me, they are all just information. You must know when you get into the numerical. Let's take some questions on this. First, we'll do this one here. We'll work out few numericals. Distance between center of two stars is 10a. The masses of these stars are m and 16m, and the radii a and 2a respectively. A body of mass m is fired straight from the surface of larger star toward the smaller star. What should be its minimum initial speed to reach the surface of the smaller star? I'll take it out of all these things. So where is the body? From S. Small m For that, okay, let's get into the, just know what we studied, we should apply. Huh? That's all, nothing. I directly picked up a application question. Okay, let's do one thing. What is asking here? There's a smaller sphere. There's a bigger sphere. So star it is. They are fixed here. The stars will not move, and the radii of them. Same diagram. I'm just putting it in order. The same diagram. Now we have this much here. So this is the radius A, radius 2A. There is a particle now. Mass of this we know 16m. The mass of this is capital M. There's a particle of mass m naught. I'll write it. Let me. So with what speed it should be projected so that it can reach the surface? Minimum speed is asking. What is the separation? Center to center separation is 10a. So let this be the point 1. Let me take it. This be the point 1. This is the, it has to reach point 2. No? So what that minimum speed I should project. So shall we apply like a conservation of mechanical energy? Interaction potential energy at this point plus kinetic energy is equal to, because minimum speed is telling, so let it come to rest here. Then interaction potential energy of the particle with the both the stars at this particular point. So shall I proceed like this? The interaction potential energy of the particle with the both the stars plus initial kinetic energy given should be equal to interaction potential particle with both the stars when it is at point 2. Conservation of mechanical problem will be solved. Okay, I think slightly you should really make observation here. So what are these are stars, no? Somewhere at a point P, I don't know, somewhere at a point P, shall I say the field strength will be 0? The field here will be directed in this direction. The net field and the net field here will be in this direction. Sir, how it is possible? Again, you have to go back to the point masses. If there are 2 point masses are there. Tell me like if M1 greater than M2. If M1 equal to M2, the field. So M1 greater than M2, the field will be 0 at point P. Will I agree? If M1 equal to M2, the field will be 0 at the midpoint. I think this is a concept. If you can accept this much, I think problem over. Or say that's what the maximum all numericals will revolve around the basic small ideas only. The field strength must be 0. So, or maybe 0, it must be 0. If M1 equal to M2 must be 0 at the midpoint. Similar situation is here, no? If masses are equal, okay, I would have said something. Since 16m and m, no, so I don't know, somewhere the field will be 0. Means now if you project a particle when it moves from 1 to P, tell me what type of motion? Retarding motion. Speed decreases. Somehow particle just reaches point P. Means if it just able to reach point P, after this what will happen? You need not do anything, no, on its own what happen? The net field will be towards left and it will accelerate. So therefore what I should do? If I project with a kinetic energy such that if it just reaches point P is enough, no? Afterwards it will accelerate on its own. I need not to do anything. The net field what will make it to accelerate further. So what is the type of motion from here to here? Retardation. Here accelerated motion. So what shall, from where to where I should project? This is the accelerated motion. Sorry, retarding motion. So if can just reach point P is enough, no? Because it's saying minimum. So I don't know that point P, what to do for that. So I'll calculate that distance x. So let me locate that one. So what is the net field at point P? Must be 0. I'll take it on this. It's a rough calculation. We'll do it here. It should be 0, or we'll write this one. So minus G16M by x square plus due to this will be, or if you take towards right positive, then you should take this as negative, or minus Gm by 10a minus x whole square. Why 16m? Mass of this is 16m. I'm measuring the x from the center of this particular thing. The point P will be at a distance from the center of the sphere at a distance like that one. So this should be equal to 0. I think the GM will get eliminated. It's all about solving for x. Anybody? Quadratic equation, it will come. 10a minus x whole square equal to x is 16. This one.
Sir, 8 is sir.
X equal to 8 here.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, fine. This will be equal to x equal to 8a. So I am very sure that from here on, what is the data I got it? At x equal to 8a, the field will be 0. At 7a, the field will be towards right. At 9a, the field will be towards left here. 8a will come somewhere near to the point P. This one. Okay, now what to do after this? Okay, we got x equal to 8a, where the field will be 0. Here only I'll write it. Now tell me what after this. If it can reach point P, problem solved, no? Then I'll apply conservation of mechanical energy. Then in interaction potential energy when particle is at 1 plus kinetic energy K1 plus interaction potential energy of the particle when it is at point P plus the kinetic energy. Kinetic energy what when they should be 0. And there's a minimum. Okay, now interaction potential is how to calculate. The particle is there on the surface. Then what is the potential on the surface? That will calculate. So now interaction potential energy m0 into potential at point 1. Potential at point 1 what all? Due to both the spheres, no? So first due to sphere I'll write it minus G 16m by 2a. And what is the potential at point 1 due to this sphere? Because what is the separation between them? 10a. In that you take it 2a. So they should be equal to Gm by 8a whole square. Try to see this. This will trouble you a lot. What is that U1? That U1 is what? What I calculated?
Sir, it's not a square, sir.
Okay, that one, yeah. This is a U1, no? Means, or else you can directly calculate potential at point 1. If you're finding out this one, m0 into V1. What is V1? Potential due to the bigger star and also due to the smaller star. Due to larger star and smaller star, due to both. So potential, the point 1 lies on the surface. What is the potential on the surface? So Gm by A, here 16m mass minus G 16m by 2A. Potential at point 1. The point 1 will lie outside the smaller star. At what distance? At a distance 8a. So we'll put it here. So this I think I'll because like let's make very systematic. I'll write it like this. And it is projected with a kinetic energy V0 square by 2 Vp and 0. That V0 is minimum. What is V1? V1, let me calculate. Potential due to is it okay now? That V1 is potential and not a speed. Similarly, potential at point P. Potential at point P. The point P lies outside both the spheres, no? So it should be G 16mx This will be GM. It should be equal to how much? 10A. Try to look at the way we are calculating potential. Potential also, you can take superposition. Potential at 1 due to this larger sphere plus smaller sphere. Larger star plus smaller star. So can we take potential? Yes, potential at a point or due to how many bodies are there? Due to all that, you take algebraic sum. What is the idea from what is the idea? Suppose if there are 2 point mass are there, I want potential at point P. What you're going to do? Potential at point P. I'll write fair. Huh? Now this is at a distance x1. This is at a distance x2. Now what is the potential at point P? You're going to write minus g m1 x1 minus g m2 x2. Potential due to individual objects. As it is a scalar, so therefore nothing, no question of direction, no? Only just algebraic sum is what you have to take. Just sum. Same thing what we did here. Potential at point 1 due to larger star, the point 1 will lie on the surface, so minus g 16 by 2a. Point 1 will lie outside the small star at a distance 8a, so gm by 8a. Then point P will lie outside for both the stars. This is the formula. This value we are going to substitute here. Solving for V naught will get the required speed. I'll give the answer later on, you check it. So there's a use of that potential what we learned. See, my purpose is like the potential what all we learned now is going to help us a lot in problems of this kind. I'll write the answer later on, you check it. 2 gm by a. If you want, you can take the root 3, 6 gma 3 minus 1 by root 28. You can also write that one. So this is the answer. Agree this one? Let me go for energy of a satellite. Anybody wants to? I'll scroll down. We have plenty of numericals. There's unlimited topic because that is related to mechanics. No, there are around 50 to 60 numericals are there of different kind. So first, let me finish off all the theoretical ideas so that we can bring all ideas in one platform and we can work out many different numericals. Okay, I'll go for the energy of a satellite. Let me do it here. Will not come in order, no? Yeah, we'll do it. I will go for the satellite motion. Why most of you are switching on the video? Huh? A satellite, artificial satellites are there. Natural, moon is a natural satellite. Now what happened? It's of, okay, moon is having It's having geographical advantage what we are going to get due to moon. There's another thing. Okay, leave it. Artificial satellite. It's for communication purpose, for like a navigation purpose. We are using that particular satellite now. What all to predict the weather forecast? Now we do take help of the satellites only. So artificial satellites become very, very important. What all we have: mobile communication, DTH, television, everything revolves around the satellite communication only. It's one of the most important aspect here now. So without satellites, again, life will be a little bit difficult. That much I can say. So we are going to describe the motion of satellite around the Earth. Okay, let's take this day, planet Earth. Let it be some planet, and this is satellite. Mass of satellite. Let me take m naught, and it's going to revolve in a circular orbit. Now it is having orbital speed v naught. Now who will provide that required centripetal force? The gravitational attractive force between the satellite and the hub and the planet will provide required centripetal force. As our force is acting should move down. You go back to circular motion because of centripetal force and velocity v naught, tangential v naught. It is in circular path. Am I right? Because of these two only, tangential velocity and force, it is in a circular path here. I'll give. Yeah. Okay, now let's come forward directly. So F is equal to mv naught square by r. So what is smaller? R is the radius of the orbit. This is the orbit. And what is smaller called as radius orbit? V naught is orbital speed. What is this F? G m m naught by r square. So solving for this, V naught equal to how much will get? Gm by r. So this is the orbital speed of the satellite here. What is m? M is the mass of the Earth, not mass of satellite, mass of the planet. What is smaller? Radius of the orbit. As the radius of the orbit increases, orbital speed decreases. I think this is very important. So those satellites which are away from the surface of the Earth, they will have less speed. Those which are nearer will have more speed. So the orbital speed depends on what? The radius. So as the radius increases, the orbital speed will decrease here. So I'm interested in the time period, time taken to complete one revolution. So for that, time taken to go around, this speed will be constant by V naught, 2 pi r. What is V naught? V naught will be Gm by r. Or this will become 2 pi r to power of 3 by 2 by Gm. So or square of time period is proportional to cube root of radius or cube of radius. There's nothing but Kepler's law of planetary motion. Tomorrow we'll analyze here in detail. This is the expression for time period of revolution. It go round that one. Time period of what is the time taken to go round once? Or it's a periodic motion. So the time period is given by this particular thing. Let's come for energy of satellite. What all forms energy? It's having kinetic energy and also there's interaction potential energy. So the total energy should be equal to sum of potential plus kinetic. What is the potential energy is equal to? Minus G m m naught r. What about kinetic energy? M naught V naught square by 2. Let me substitute this m naught r. What is V naught? V naught square will become G capital M by r. So if I solve this, this one. So this is the energy of a satellite here. Agree this one? Oh no, how potential and kinetic energy are related? So shall we say that K is equal to mod of E? You look at the K is equal to mod of E and it is equal to mod of U by 2. Potential G is what? G mm naught by R. And what is energy is equal to? G mm naught by 2R. So for any conservative field, there is one basic condition that is applicable. The kinetic energy, total energy, and the potential. They'll be related by this. So same thing we are going to explore even in atomic structure. When we go to atomic structure, no, the same condition I'm going to take help of this one. There's a total energy of satellite. I got negative. What do you mean by that? If total energy of satellite negative, it will be a closed or elliptical orbit. We are discussing about the circular orbit here. So if an orbit, if you get total energy negative, no, then that particular orbit is said to be a closed orbit here. And what about this force? Is a central force and out acting along line joining the center of satellite to center of the planet. Okay, this is about the orbital speed, time period of revolution, and the energy of a satellite here. Okay, let's come for the orbital escape velocity. Will take this one. Next condition is mass of the planet, and here's what I'm taking a particle. So with what speed I should project so that it will escape from the attractive force of this one. Means after what should be the separation? It should escape. Escape means I'll show it to her. So what is the separation? Separation will become infinity. There's a planet. There's a body which has to escape from the gravitational field of the planet here. Or here we are talking about very specifically the Earth. So what should be the escape velocity here? So for this, we'll take help of again the interaction potential. You know, conservation of mechanical Ui plus Ki, Uf plus Kf. Here, let me assume that it will come to rest at infinity. And anyway, the planet will be fixed here. No, I need to bother about kinetic energy of planet. It will be fixed here. Okay, what is the initial interaction potential energy? Potential on the surface minus gmr into m naught will give the interaction potential energy plus kinetic energy m naught ve square by 2. Initial final interaction potential energy 0. It will come to rest here. So if I solve it, two g mr, I'll get it. M naught get cancels. And what is root of gm by r? Root of gm by r. Anything can we write it? Because we know small g is equal to what? G capital M by r square. So shall we adjust one? So root of this will become 2gr. So this is the expression for escape velocity, and it is for Earth, it is around 11.6 kilometer per second. So if you project a particle with that much of speed, no, 11.2, it will never return back over. If you project with a speed equal to 11.2 kilometer per second from the surface of the Earth, it will never return back. In terms of small g, I expressed here. In terms of orbital speed, what is the expression for orbital speed? Gm by r on the surface of the Earth. Okay, I think here only I'll introduce that. If there's a Earth, if the satellite revolves near to on the surface of the Earth, just above at a distance of 10 meter or something. Just you can take even 100 meter also we can take it. If it revolves on the surface of the earth with an orbital speed. So what is this orbital speed should be equal to? You can write only gm by r. So what is this orbital speed on the surface of the earth? So how this orbital speed on surface of the earth and escape velocity is related. So they're given by formula root 2 v naught. Now how it is projected irrespective of no whether you project at an angle, irrespective of that one, means either you project it like this or you project it at an angle. So will it depends on that angle? No, it is independent of angle of projection. Will everything will make it for Earth? Any other planet? Okay, they'll mention it. No. So what is the thing? In both the cases, escape speed will be same, escape velocity, as it is, independent of angle theta. Because the potential is what you write, minus g m naught by r, no? Is anything theta will come in this expression, nothing to do, no? And kinetic energy, independent of direction. So either you project in either case or depend, the speed required will be same. So there's no any restriction on what like the direction. Both the cases, the escape speed will be same here. Like that, the escape speed and the orbital speed, they're related by this. What is V naught? Not far away from the Earth. When the satellite is revolving near to surface of the Earth, near to surface of the, this is the orbital speed. Somebody. Okay, come for this one. Okay, this V naught, don't get confused. Smaller I wrote. So where the orbit? Orbit lies near to the surface of the earth. And these are, I think, you have enough numericals to solve. So plenty of questions are related to this. Don't touch elliptical orbit. Tomorrow I'll discuss that. I'll finish off that. Then you can focus more numericals here. Okay, then, so tomorrow you can focus on elliptical orbit. Today, later to this, you can go for it. Okay, let's go back to the some application numericals. If it is at infinity, if it is having some velocity, that you substitute here. Because usually I want it to escape to infinity, and at infinity, what happened? Let it be at rest. I assumed it. If it is at infinity, if it's having some velocity, that velocity you have to substitute here. Then calculate what escape velocity you needed. Let's come to the some questions. Read this one. I'll have water. Just read this one. Orbital speed, the speed of satellite when it is moving in that orbit. What is the orbital speed? Speed of the satellite when it is moving in orbit. Read carefully. Sir, at a height, I think now it's a gravity, no? Either you'll show like this or this one, either way it will be same. Or if you're getting confusion, you can go for a diagram of like this. Sorry. This is a tunnel. So there is a spring. That's the same diagram. I'm just continuing, and the particle is released from here. So let this be the mass m, mass of the particle. Let it be m naught, and it is at a height r. So he's asking what is the spring constant k? The value of k is asking. So what is the k? K will come here. This is r, no? This should be the r. Radius of the tunnel, how much? It is equal to r. What this particle will do when it arrives here, it will have velocity here, no? With that velocity, it will go and compress the spring, and finally it will come to, it will go and compress the spring, and the spring force will retard. So altogether, what happened? The particle, the spring will be compressed, and this is a particle, and it has come to instantaneous rest. How much it will compress? R by 2. This is the center of the earth. It has come to instantaneous rest. He's asking what will be that spring constant. And what is the spring force? Conservative force. What is the gravity of conservative? Can we apply conservation of mechanical? Yes, it is. Then initial interaction potential when the particle is at a height r, plus it is released from rest. What is the state of particle here? Instantaneous rest. So what is the kinetic? It will be 0, no? So the interaction potential of particle with the sphere is equal to what? Initial interaction of this is equal to what? Final interaction potential particle with the sphere plus increase in elastic potential of the spring. Okay, write down this one and you can get your answer. So I'll proceed in this way. Say why I'm bringing spring, it's also a conservative force. That's why we just brought that particular formulas here. So initial interaction potential m naught into potential at that particular. So here potential. Okay, let me write directly. What is the potential? What is the potential at that particular point? Minus g m capital M by 2r, no? Equal to minus m g into potential. Let me take this as point P. Potential at point P, not velocity, capital this one, plus how much spring force spring is compressed, r by 2. How to calculate potential at point P? Go back. I told you, no, the formula. See, here is what the it's going to help you. If you know formula, the problem will get over. If you don't know formula, what you should do? If you don't know formula, what you should do? You have to fight. You have to derive expression for potential. So what is the formula? The formula says like Gm by 2r cube r square minus 3r square. Is that okay? So those are forgotten. Just Gm 2r cube r square minus 3r square. What is smaller? Smaller from where I should measure? From the center of the sphere, no? Capital R is the radius. That formula is what the core idea of this problem. See, not only for you, even for teacher also. Minimum everyone should have some basic memory. Without that, not possible. What is smaller in the given question? R by 2. Put it here. Calculate everything. This will be Gm. R will come outside here. Over 1 r square. So this will be 1 by 2. 1 by 2 minus 3. 3 by 2 or 3 by 4.
Sir, it will be 1 by 4 minus 3, sir.
1 by 4 minus 3. Okay, 1 by 4 minus 3. 11 by 4. 4 3 are 12, 12, 12, 11, 11, 11. Yeah, 11 by 4. So this
Sir,
should I?
8 are. There is a 2 outside.
Okay, 2, 8 r. Yeah. Square is there, no? Okay, this value I'm going to substitute here. So minus G minus 11G M naught by 8R plus KR square by 8. Solving for K will get the required answer. K will come 7. Huh? Check it. Okay, sorry. The value of Z is 7. Okay, just see. Definitely, IITJ professor is more interested how spring conservation of mechanics, because spring force and both are conservative force as applied, and get on to the problem. And there's a very good topic where the conservation of mechanical energy, conservation of angular momentum, conservation of linear momentum, all the basic ideas, basic fundamental laws are brought here. So for exam, one gravitation, one question will come, sure shot. Every year it is coming. He may ask you anyway. But for application of fundamental laws are very important here. So almost every numerical just revolves around application of fundamental laws. I'll scroll down. No, I'll bring some collision idea, quotient of restitution, you see. Mixed concepts are very, very important because they'll give a lot of ideas. Read the question and say a smooth tunnel is dug along the radius of the earth that ends at the center. Okay, first build up the question. From the question, have a diagram. Okay, now we have a ball is released from the surface of the earth. Let me construct a okay, there's a tunnel. Here in the diagram, I'm showing big tunnel. So some part of the mass you removed. So tunnel, it is assumed that it will be very small, but the diagram I'm showing it big. Okay, there's a radius R. This much is there. Same diagram, I'll put it here now. Okay, for our understanding, so let this be the mass of this planet or Earth. Let it be capital M. This is a tunnel. So here a particle is taken, it's released. The particle is released. It's released from rest. It goes and collides at the center. Quotient and between surface and ball, then distance traveled by the ball before second collision at the center. What to do? No, I think little bit some collision he has brought. So first, what happened? The particle when it reaches center, what will the speed will calculate? Any from that will get some help. That's all, no? When particle reaches the center, we'll see what any help will get it. I think I need one more diagram. I'll put all the diagrams here. Keep it here. So particle will come and collide here, no? Okay, I'll shade this particle. So when it comes and collides, here it will have a speed, say v1. Small letters I'm using, and it will immediately what happen will rebound with a speed v2. Okay, got this. And this is a tunnel. Somebody is asking, sir, where is the tunnel? This is a tunnel. How to calculate that v1? It is released from rest. So the best thing again, conservation of mechanical energy. Nothing to do. I think problem is over. Or the potential at the center, you know it. So I'll directly write the formula. So potential on the surface, m naught into v. There's interaction potential. I release from rest, 0. Potential at the center, Vc. I'm writing Vc. Vc plus it will have kinetic energy v1 square. So let's write potential on the surface minus g m by r. M naught potential on the surface will be 1.5 times that on the surface, or 1.5 m g. You write it. So this is v1. That m naught gets eliminated. So minus 3 by 2 if it comes on there, plus 3 by 2. Then solving, I'll get expression for v1 as gm by r, root of gm by r. It will rebound with a speed. The earth will not move, no? Am I right? Earth will not move. Earth will be fixed here. So what is the rebound speed? The rebound speed should be equal to E into V1. What is E? 0.5 V1. 0.2. 0.2. So 0.2 root of Gm by R. What will happen to because of this speed? Because of the speed, it will start moving up. Then can it come out of the earth, or can it reach again the initial point? I think this is what a student has to what can happen. Oh. Anybody, what can happen to the particle? There's a particle. Can it come somewhere here outside? No. E is what? V2 is less than, say I release from rest, it it has reached its center with a speed v1. It has lost some kinetic energy, it cannot reach the initial point. Somewhere here, it will come to instantaneous rest. And again, it will go back. Again, I'll call this point as P. Now, how to calculate that height? For that, what happened? We should know at what height, no? So let this distance h or r, anything you can write it. No. Okay, shall we apply again from C to point P? The conservation of mechanical energy. And at point P, what happened? It will come to instantaneous rest here. And we know speed at point 2. So writing that m naught into potential at C plus m naught v2 square by 2 should be equal to m naught into potential at point P. Capital letters, small letters are very important. So we know potential at point C. Potential at point C will be minus 1.5 times of Gm by R. V2 is how much? 0.2 times of Gm by R is equal to m naught. What is potential at point P? Go back to the formula. Gm by 2R cube H square minus 3R square. From where this formula has come? Potential inside the solid sphere. That small r is what? H. Okay, let me take out this y again. So what we have to do? Everything we have to calculate the H. There is only unknown thing. G m naught by R will get eliminated. Will I agree all of you? See this? The term. So this will become minus 3 by 2.
Sir, 2h square minus 3r square, no sir?
2 is missing. Okay, this one. Or 3 by 2 there. No, r square will be there. It should be this much only.
Sir, there should be a 2, sir, in denominator for
Denominator.
kinetic energy.
See the formula? Okay. We derive now this formula. Okay, ma? Huh?
Sir, for kinetic energy, sir.
Kinetic energy, that one here. So 2 should not be there. Where I am? Okay, this one, yeah. Year 1, 2, no?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So minus 3 by 2. 3 by 2 R. Okay, let me keep it R, no problem. Then this will be 0.1 by R plus this should be equal to 1 by 1 R will go, no? So 2R square, 3R square.
Sir, 0.2 whole square, no, sir?
0.2 whole square. 0.01 or 1 by 10 R, anything it will be.
So 0.02 by R.
0.04, 0.02. Okay, this one here. Square is there, no? Anybody value H?
Sir, it will be 2r cubed.
2R cube. Okay, R we didn't cancel, no? Yeah. R in LHS, LHS R in the numerator, R cube, GMM not. Okay. Anybody value of H? H equal to, okay, some answer I got it. 0.2 R. Okay, R by 5. Yeah, fine. Okay, that's good. H equal to R by 5, 0.2. What is the total? Let's go back to our question. What is our question? Total distance traveled before second collision. Distance traveled by the ball before second collision at the center. So first, how much of distance it will move? It will move R. Then what happened? It will move R. Then H. Then H. So what is the total distance moved? It should be R plus 2H. R plus 2R by 5. 7R by 5. So like this, some small collision ideas. Huh? Just only after collision, what is the rebound speed? That's all finished. Rest all everything is again, you have to bring the basic ideas, conservation of mechanical energy. I'll scroll down. Now escape velocity is something we say no. Let's make it generalized here. Huh? Let's make it more generalized. Huh? Make it more generalized means. So I do have two objects. This is a sphere. Then I'll bring one disk. It's a planet. So let's assume that imaginary planet. It's in the form of circular disk. So this is the radius R. This is the radius R. Having mass M. 2R. Okay, let it be. Exactly at the midpoint P, I'll project a particle with a speed VE. So that it should escape to the infinity. So this is a disk. So find the escape velocity of this particular particle. It can be like this, no? We discussed only for planet. Now there is some heavenly bodies are there. There's a disk of mass m and radius r, and there's a sphere of mass 2m and radius 2r. Then I'll take a particle. With what speed I should project from the point P on the line joining the center of these two so that it will escape to infinity. Find escape velocity of particle of mass m0 at point P. Oh, what to do now here? I think O's help, we have to take it. We should calculate there the resultant potential. No, that's all. Nothing is there. What is the potential at point P? So initial energy plus Ki equal to UF plus Kf. What is initial interaction potential? M0 into potential at point P plus M0 into VE square by 2. Finally, it should go to infinity. So let's assume that at infinity, let it come to rest. If it gives some any kinetic energy at infinity, substitute that kinetic energy here and solve for V. It's left to you. at infinity, let it, most of the problems will make it to rest. If at infinity also, if it is having some kinetic energy, that kinetic energy you are going to substitute here. But this has to be 0 because there's no interaction. How to calculate that potential at point P? There's a more generalized way of learning. A potential, this point P lies outside the solid sphere. This lies outside the solid sphere. So what is the formula? Minus G 2m by 3r whole square. The point P, that a distance 3r from the center of the sphere. Then what is the potential due to this?
Where should not be then?
What happened? No?
Square should not be there, sir.
So square. Huh? Okay, I'm talking about field only. Okay, fine. A potential due to the disk. I think if you don't know potential due to this formula, no way you can do anything, you know. Is it okay? No? So some data is a very must. So unless we don't remember the data, it's not possible. So especially this gravitation chapter, no, we must know all the data. Corresponding data must be there for everyone. So if you can remember data, you can manage, otherwise gone. So minus, so I think we brought in terms of sigma, if you can remember. I'll write the formula. It is equal to minus 2 pi g sigma root of x is how much? 3r by r square plus 3r whole square. So what is sigma? Sigma, let me write it separately here. Sigma is what? M by pi r square. So this will become minus 2gm by 3r. Sigma is m by pi r square. 3r, here root 10r will come. R root 10. So this on simplification. One pi get eliminated. So 2gm of course, root 10 will be greater than 3. Will end up in negative. So this, I need not to put negative sign. The sign will come from where? From the calculations. I think you have to be careful. This small mistake usually students will do. Potential due to any body should be negative only. For a disk, what happened? The sign will come by the calculations. That value you have to substitute, that you will get the escape velocity. These are the troublesome questions for you in exam. So this formula, if you don't know this, then finish over. You can't derive this in exam. I'm making things clear. You can't derive. You can't derive. Nobody can derive an exam. That much of time will not be there. Okay, substituting this here. Let me. M by pi r square. So this will become m naught potential. There's everything we have to introduce here. So 2gm solving for V will get the required answer. So now escape velocity, don't think that's something. It can be for any system. And now you have to ask one very good question, sir. Why you are not taking interaction potential energy between the particle and the disk, and between the sphere and the disk? You see that we didn't took, no? So shall we say something like a binding energy? So you should supply kinetic energy which is equal to binding energy of the system. What is the binding energy? The energy with which particle is binded to the sphere and the disk. I think that is what this energy. There's interaction potential between the disk and the sphere. Even if you want to substitute that, and it will come also here, even particle when it goes to infinity or pen, these two will be here only, separated by distance 6r. So that will cancel out. So therefore we are not showing it, but actually you have to show that also. But if they're both in LHS, RHS, it'll get cancelled out. So therefore we just made a practice of just only showing the interaction energy of the particle with the objects here. Because see, we have discussed only without the this, no, only with respect to sphere. Now, if you there's interaction between the sphere and the disk also there, that will come here. Actually, you're supposed to write. Then what when that in UF also will come, will get eliminated. So what is this quantity now? What name we should give for this? Shall I say binding energy? Now, this is something very important because as we go for some IR problems, no, this idea will help us again. So you should supply kinetic energy equal to the energy with which the particle is binded to the system. So therefore, what is the binding energy? Of course, it will be negative, no? It will be binded with this one, this one. So what is this? What I should call the energy with which the particle is binded to the system. So if you supply kinetic energy equal to binding energy, okay, then what will happen? It will escape. Binding energy will be negative because it's binded, no? So put that negative, then solve for it, you'll get V some positive value. So therefore now what is very important now? When particle is escaping, if it wants to escape, no? So then what happen? What is the binding energy? We should take that one. We should not go for total interaction potential of system. What is UI? UI is not total interaction potential of system. Only the interaction energy of the particle with the system. So there'll be more confusion. So therefore we'll better say binding energy. You can bring it between any two, this one. So you should supply kinetic energy equal to binding energy of the system. So this quantity separately we'll call it. Okay, this is about the overall the condition like this, energy of satellite, or all this particular thing. I think we have only 7 minutes time. Okay, let's. Some time is, so I'll give some. If they give some potential, suppose say in a region, if you know potential, so potential they'll give like this: alpha x, beta y. How to calculate the field? So to get the x component of field, I'll differentiate. Just math-based problem somewhere will help you. So I'll differentiate with respect to x. So how much it will be? Minus alpha. If I differentiate with respect to y, it will be dv by dy. So this will become much? Minus 2 beta y. Then what is the total field? Is given by Ex bar so minus alpha I cap minus 2 beta y j cap. So if they give potential, no, if you differentiate with respect to x the function, you will get x component of field. If you differentiate with respect to y, you'll get the y component of field. Suppose if in a given region, if the potential is given by the formula x square yz, then differentiate with respect to what to do with yz, keep it as it is, no problem. So now this will become yz into 2x. What is Ey? Ey will be minus of dv by dy. So this should be equal to how much? X square z. What about z component? Will become minus x square y. So then what is the total field? Ex bar plus Ey bar Ez bar. So this should become 2x yz I cap z cap x square y k cap. Anywhere numericals may come, so they'll help you a lot. If you know potential, how to get field to get the x, y, z components, differentiate relative with respect to x, y, z. If you know potential, how to get the field, already I shown one integration method. So later in because all these are math-based problem, which may not be very important in gravitation. On Friday, I'll discuss few. If they give potential, how to calculate the field. If they give field, how to calculate the potential. So don't touch these things in books, even if you find more, no, leave it on Friday. Focus on now on the satellite, the conservation of mechanical energy related problems. Okay, fine. So tomorrow we'll continue. Kepler's law of planetary motion will start, and we'll continue with all the different numericals. Okay, thank you all of you. I'll stop the class.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.